idea was to do the best. So what are we doing? I don't think we gathered video game quotes. Y'all said y'all had anime?
Yeah.
I got anime and some book quotes.
All right, so we're gonna do our favorite anime quotes this week, and I think we'll keep up with this theme. Maybe we'll do another top 3 anyway, just so that it doesn't get stale in the week after next. But for now, like, we're about to figure out what our favorite anime quotes is. So you can do context before the quote or context after the quote if you think we need it. You don't have to do any context. Also, we're gonna go around and kind of rate the quote. 5 being that was pure fire, that the piece of paper was on fire that they wrote the script on, and 1 being not impressed, 3 being okay, in the middle, etc.
Okay. Oh, that's actually hard as fuck.
So we could just round robin it one at a time. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'll probably have the least out of everybody here. My memory is shit. So I did.
How do you have a terrible memory when you don't smoke the green drug?
Nigga, I've had a terrible memory my entire fucking life.
You don't smoke the green devil. You don't
nigga,
smoke the
You
devil's
know how
lettuce.
often I've been accused of having done that when I don't? My first quote is, "Fear isn't evil. It only allows us to learn our own weakness. When we learn our weakness, people can grow stronger and kinder." Gildarts Clive.
What is it from?
Gildarts Clive. Fairy tale.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
Right.
hard.
Well, hold on, I need to repeat. Say it one more time, bro.
Fear isn't evil. It only allows us to learn our own weakness. When we learn our weakness, people can grow stronger and kinder.
That's fire.
That's fire as fuck.
What do y'all want to? I think that one's like a 4 out of 5. Bro.
That's
kinda
at least a
heat,
4
yeah.
out of 5. That's hard as fuck, bro. That's hard.
If anybody knows Gildarts,
And it's
Gildarts is
awesome.
one of the strongest motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, he's one of the
But-
strongest one in the anime.
He always takes his time to help teach Natsu. Anybody else really, but he definitely because damn they help fucking raise Natsu in the goddamn guild, and regularly fights this motherfucker and completely holds back because Gildarts is broken as hell.
Okay, so mine is so my first one is it comes from One Piece. And just some context before I give y'all the quote. Kanjuro had betrayed the Red Scabbards, and so betrayed them and took Momonosuke and gave Momonosuke to Kaido, and they're about to kill him. They're about to kill Momonosuke, and Kanjuro goes back to the Red Scabbards to gloat about it. So Kiku steps forward to fight him, and she says to him, "The wounds this one's katana leaves do not vanish in the afterlife. Like snow that remains in the spring, they will continue to torment your soul for eternity."
That's a 5, God.
That is a fucking 5.
One more time, shit. Run it
One
back
more
one
time, run
time.
that
Yo.
shit back.
She says,
Look at him.
"The wounds this one's katana leaves do not vanish in the afterlife. Like snow that remains in the spring, they will continue to torment your soul for eternity."
That's fire.
That's
That's a 5.
When I read it, I remember being like, excuse me? That's one of the coldest dialogue lines I think I ever heard in the anime. I was like, the wounds I leave on you, when you die, they still hurt. When you go into heaven, the wounds still hurt your ass. Like, when you in heaven for eternity, they still hurt your ass. That's
And that's even worse, especially if they actually do believe in reincarnation. That means the wounds I leave on you now will stick with you no matter what life you go into.
right.
Perpetually.
Even when you reincarnate,
That's
you'll
a-
still feel the wounds
My
from the
soul
shit I
hurts.
did.
Right.
That would hit me right there. Like, I was trying to get you to forgive me before you kill me. Greed may not be good, but it's not bad either. You humans think greed is just for money and power, but everyone wants something they don't have. Greed, Full Metal Alchemist.
Hey.
Wow.
That's a 5.
I was gonna put it at like a 4.
Yeah.
I like it a lot though,
That shit is deep. Like,
especially since it's from Greed himself. I guess.
Right,
he got it.
right.
He was that concept, right?
but he was absolutely right though.
Yeah.
Think about it.
He's cooking.
Like, everyone wants something they can't have.
Yeah.
If they don't, they a goddamn lie.
Speaking of dialogue, I got some dialogue from y'all. This comes from one of my favorite animes. It's called Akame ga Kill. It's about assassins. So the context is basically Akame is the older assassin, and the main character, Tatsumi, is the younger one. She kept her distance from him because she doesn't want to see him die. And she, when he finally got a chance to get her to talk, that's what she told him. So he made a promise to her right there that he won't let her see him die. At the end of the anime, he sacrifices himself to kill the emperor, and as he's dying, he tells Akame, "I'm sorry, I couldn't keep my promise." Great anime.
That's a great anime. That shit.
I stopped
hurt
that.
my
That
feelings.
was getting too fucked up.
Everybody you like is going to die.
Yes.
My favorite character died in like episode 3.
Yeah. Oh, the fuck.
If you know anything about, there's spoilers for that, by the way.
So the context is it's at Whole Cake Island, and Jinbei is at Big Mom's little party shit. And Jinbei had been working for Big Mom for a long time, but he had also been following Luffy around since Marine 4, since Impel Down. So like he know what kind of man Luffy is. He was there with Luffy during Marine Ford and everything. So he's standing in front of Big Mom, and Big Mom is trying to like, she telling him like, either he tells her he's gonna lead the crew. And she like, either you gonna stay or you're gonna give me your life. And he says to her, life. And she don't understand. So after that, he says to her, the man I have chosen to follow will be the king of the pirates. I can't be intimidated by a mere emperor of the sea. And like, it's such a hard thing for him to say, because it's like, Jinbei, you can't fight her. She'll fuck you up. She really can fuck you up. Like, you really playing with the wrong one. And like, so for him to even say that, it just kind of show you like, A, how brave he is, B, how raw Luffy must be for somebody like Jinbei to be like,
I think I like Jinbei. That sounds really fucking awesome.
Because like he helped out the whole goddamn Kaido shit, the whole
Luffy would have died a long time ago.
Like,
Hold on, what do y'all think about that quote though?
I think
I
like
give it a
3.
4.
I think I'm bordering on like 5 though, but like maybe 4. I think 5. Oh my god, I think I really like that one. Justin, it's your turn.
All right.
Definitely
Context.
strong for.
Vegeta is training with Trunks, and he says this to him: push through the pain, give up his mercy.
That's damn
That's
true.
fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's at least a 4 to me. That's a 4.
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
That's
Yeah.
a 5.
I'm gonna give it
This
a 4.
Dragon Ball Z, so
I'ma
when
give it
I
a
first
4.
heard this shit, like I was like a teenager, so that shit I always like.
That's hard.
And it's the fact that he's saying this shit to his son.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only reason he's saying this shit to his son because he knows from experience.
Right.
And
that's
one
hard.
thing, and the thing about
Yeah,
sayings
that's
is
a 5,
the straight fact that the more they fucking hurt themselves and then recover from it, because
stronger they get.
it's as because I've seen similar quotes before, and it's always been, as long as you feel pain, that means you're still alive. You don't feel pain no more, you ain't got shit to live for. You're dead at that point. So as long as you're feeling the pain and you're fighting through your shit, you're alive.
I feel like you can't get strong unless you feel pain.
Yeah.
Some kind of pain, like that's either mentally or physically, like
Or
you have to
emotional.
go through some kind of pain in life to grow even a little bit. Because you have to, like, for me, you have to learn from that pain. So if shit hurts, like mentally or physically, like you learn from that shit.
That quote right there from Vegeta, you all thought it was flames. I gave it a 4. All right, hold on. So I got one for y'all. This is if y'all ever watched my we were doing anime what ifs, and I did a what if Kuwabara was the spirit detective video. If you watch the beginning of that video, there's a quote in the beginning that editor Tony posted where basically the context is this the dark tournament, and someone needs to go against Toguro before it's Yusuke's turn. And Kuwabara is the only one who's kind of like healthy that can get in there. But this is the boss of the anime. He like took out Genkai, Yusuke's teacher, and all this shit. So Kuwabara is going there basically on a suicide mission, and they're worried about him. And Kuwabara says, quote, "A mulberry is a tree, Kuwabara is a man, and I'll prove it. We all have our time to die when our time comes. But if we do our duty, we don't have regrets. So taste a little piece of my sword, Toguro." Kuwabara's a dumbass, and he's the karmic relief, and he loses a lot. But that was some fire ass shit, and I always respected him.
Can I
because
give
he
you?
is that
Can I
guy.
rate your Kuwabara accent on its own?
Yeah,
Can I just
that's
give
a
that a rating?
I get out.
I appreciate it.
Definitely.
I'm giving you a 4. I'm giving you a good 4 on your
working on it.
Kuwabara.
When I
You
looked
know
at
what
the
I'm
quote,
saying?
I started working on my Kuwabara right there, so I appreciate y'all.
You
That
know what
makes
I'm
me
saying?
feel
I
good.
give you a 4 on your Kuwabara accent, on your Kuwabara voice. Great job.
But I just like Final Stand type stuff, and Kuwabara is that type of character that he was the weakest member of the team. So anytime he had a chance to contribute, even if it was giving his life, he was willing to do that.
All right, let's keep it real simple. Ash Ketchum.
Uh,
Do you always need a reason to help somebody?
What?
you say you all.
Do you always need a reason to help somebody? It's not something that's done very often anymore. Most people looking for justice behind it. But do you always need a reason to help somebody?
Yeah, I like that.
I give it a 3.
That's like a 4. That's some real hero shit.
Yeah, I'm straight anti-hero.
I mean, but you don't even have to, like, that's like saying, yo, do you need a reason to hold the door open for a grandma trying to walk in the store?
Oh no, that's like automatic.
Do you need a reason to, and it doesn't have to be nothing crazy. Do you need a reason to help
A
a
small
lady
child that may be
Yeah.
alone and like it
lost?
You know what I'm saying? And is scared and it needs help.
It's all dependent where I'm at and what race is the child.
But see, and the sad shit is shit like that shouldn't even matter.
I know,
And
but
it does. It
but
does
with
deeply,
me, like, I have this thing where like kids are afraid of me sometimes. All right, justice will prevail, you say, but of course it will. Whoever wins this war becomes justice. Don Quixote, Don Flamingo.
Yep. I remember that one.
That's a 5.
Yeah. He's spitting. He's cooking. He's
Look,
spitting
Oda,
facts.
Oda be spitting, bro.
Oh
Oda,
shit, I got 2 5s so far, fellas. Oh shit.
Yeah, let's go.
Oda be cooking, bro.
Yeah, Oda be cooking like
Oda really be out here. He be
like,
dropping some
when
balls.
I first heard that shit for the first time, like I read it, I was, but when he said that shit and the voice actor who said that shit and how he said it, I was like, yo, that shit, he is so fucking right.
read it back one more time.
Justice will prevail, you say, but of course it will. Whoever wins the war becomes justice. So whoever wins is right.
So that goes back to,
Everyone is the hero of their own story.
and not just
Even
that,
the villain is the hero of their
and
own
not even
story.
just that, the victor writes the story.
Exactly.
Might makes right.
Right.
What's on me? Oh shit. Okay, so we're starting to get to some longer quotes now. I got some really long ones after this one, so let's relish in my last short quote. It's from one of my favorite animes, probably number 11 in my top 10, if not number 10 itself, Vinland Saga. It's the Viking anime. You ever seen it?
Mm-hmm. I've seen some of it.
Thorfinn's that guy.
Askeladd, Mr. Run Your Pockets, the most toxic Viking almost out there.
One of the smartest mans in the world. Like, he was real smart with his shit, dog.
So Askeladd's watching a slave get beat, and he's laughing his ass off, and one of his subordinates wonders why he finds that so funny, and Askeladd says to him, and I quote, "A man, slave to gold, holds a whip, and beats the slave he bought with that gold as if to claim he is the master. He just doesn't see it for himself. Every living human being is a slave to something."
Yo,
Damn, yeah.
That's a 5.
That is a 5. That's fucking true.
Askeladd's one of my favorite characters. He is not a nice guy at all. However, he does tell the truth not all the time, but Askeladd's got so many good quotes. And that was just going to be my secondary would have been, I have no enemies, but we can get into that another time.
I think the only other quote I had was "Pass your lemons right here, right now."
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
From Black Clover?
Yeah.
because can I just as an extension of that, every time throughout the story that somebody says that, like Noelle fighting Magicula when she's like, I'm gonna surpass my limits, nigga, and goddamn kill you, or Yami fighting pretty much everybody. He like, I'm gonna surpass my limits. You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
that's
the Black Bulls use that as like their catchphrase. Their
And the
rallying
wild
cry.
shit is the Black Bulls are hands down the fucking weakest of the squads.
Really?
Yeah, they are. It's just,
At the beginning. This ain't a super good one, but the context is, so it's 1,000-Year Blood War. The Quincy's done pretty much gone up to the Soul Palace. Yuhabat had done pretty much became the Soul King and shit. And meanwhile, the Soul Reapers are still in the Seritate trying to figure out what the fuck they gonna do. So they free Aizen, and Aizen comes out and like destroys these things that were coming down from the Soul King's palace to like eat all the Soul Reapers. And after he does it, he says to them, "If you have business at the royal palace, I will shoot it down for you." And he was gonna, mind you, he's sitting in a chair, and he's gonna use it with just, he's gonna do it with just his fucking Reiatsu. He's gonna shoot down gods. He's gonna shoot down heaven with his soul, with his energy, with his soul energy.
Say the quote one more time.
He says, "If you have business at the royal palace, I will shoot it down for you." Like,
that's
such
crazy.
a hard line.
That's
I thought
crazy
it
as
was hard.
shit.
It ain't poetry.
Short and sweet, yeah.
It
That's
ain't
crazy.
poetry, but it's a hard ass line to me. It's just such a Eisen thing to say.
Give that one a 3.
Give me that. Yeah. It's a 3.
I give it a 3.
It's definitely a 3.
4. I've been grading stuff really highly. I really haven't given nothing below a 4. I think I might have given one thing a 3. All right, Justin, it's on you, bro.
All right, nothing is perfect. The world is not perfect, but there's for us trying its best it can. That's what makes it so damn beautiful. Or a Mustang, Full Metal Alchemist.
One more time.
Nothing is perfect. The world's not perfect, but it's there for us. Trying its best it can. That's what makes it so damn beautiful.
That's like a 4. I want to give it more because you really wouldn't expect that of like Mustang, yo.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how he could be profound. What do y'all think?
Get
Can you do it one more time for me?
What?
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect. The world's not perfect, but it's there for us. Trying its best it can. That's what makes it so damn beautiful.
I give that a good 3.
Give that a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 because, like, it's poetic as fuck,
Yeah.
but it's not quite the poetry of like that previous quote. That previous quote was straight poetry. That previous quote you had, that one was straight fucking poetry. Like, he was spitting. He was really spitting.
My next one is from 91 Days. It is a mafia anime where the mafia kills one of their members and the wife. But they try to kill the son, but he escapes because the mobster's son couldn't pull the trigger on him as he was escaping. That young man grows up and infiltrates their group and manages to murder everybody around him. So he, except for the guy who almost shot him, is the only person who managed to get the drop on him. And so they're traveling and he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with them. And he's having a very emotional moment because all his entire family is dead. And the main character says, quote, "I thought that by completing my revenge and making my family's killers pay, I would find a reason to live again. But there's nothing left. It was all for nothing." And the guy who could have killed him said, "You gotta be kidding me. Don't you dare try to sum it all up like that. What about them? What were their deaths for? Why didn't you just kill me? I trusted you." Because he is the one who initiated him to the mafia. Then he says back to him, "Then you should have just killed me back then. That night, 7 years ago. You should have just shot me."
I get out of 5, bro. That's a 5 for me.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen 91 Days. It is extremely sad anime. It has got one of the best opening sequences, and in my opinion, it's got one of the best opening sequences.
And it's a long one, but it's a quote from Mayuri from Bleach, the science captain on Bleach, when he was fighting that hollow dude, and he's talking about perfection. He says, "There's no such thing as perfection in this world. That may sound cliche, but it's the truth. The average person admires perfection and seeks to obtain it. But what's the point of achieving perfection? There is none, nothing, not a single thing. I spit on perfection. If something is perfect, then there is nothing left. There is no room for imagination, no place left for that person to gain additional knowledge or abilities. Do you know what that means? For scientists such as us, perfection only brings despair. It is our job to create things more wonderful than anything before them, but never to obtain perfection. A scientist must be a person who finds ecstasy while suffering from that antinomy."
Bro, that's a fucking 5.
That's a
He's
fucking
dropping
5.
bars from Mars, goddamn.
He said he was spit on perfection.
Ooh, that shit was clean.
That shit is fucking cold as fuck.
I love it.
That
I
shit
love
is
it.
cold.
That's one of the best ones for tonight,
have a
man.
drink
That shit
off
was
that
great.
shit.
Hell yeah. We drink to that
I need
shit.
some
I think
troubles,
I'm almost
nigga.
out. Yeah.
Put me in.
Oh, you're
I'm
drunk
good.
this time,
We drink to that. That's fire.
Alright, this short and sweet, fellas. Only a failure abandoning his principles and pride. Vegeta.
Vegeta? I knew it. It's only because you said the word pride. You say it one more time?
Only a failure abandons his principles and pride.
I love it. It's but it's gonna be like a 4 for me.
That's a 4.
But it's short and sweet. I just feel like I said before earlier, like he's like the ideal guy, like what a man should be thinking. Like, I mean, a man, like, we can have everything in the world, but if we lose everything, at least we still have our pride at the end of the day. If we don't have our pride, we don't have any fucking thing. So
Basically, the context is Spike is in love with this woman he thought was dead, and he finally found her. And his shipmate is asking about her, Jet. He says, "So what kind of woman is she? What's Julia like?" Spike says, "Ordinary. The kind of beautiful, dangerous ordinary that you just can't leave alone." He says, "I see. Like an angel from the underworld or a devil from paradise."
oh yeah, I can that right there. Say that shit again, bro, please. Cause that shit like,
Ordinary. The kind of beautiful, dangerous ordinary that you just can't leave alone. Like an angel from the underworld or a devil from paradise.
Damn.
Cowboy Bebop's got some of that.
Yeah,
I've actually
that's
got 3 quotes on here from Cowboy Bebop. I just had to pick one, but I just wrote them all down.
That's a 5.
I love Cowboy Bebop's dialogue. You got, bro.
The anime is gangsta. I don't know if anybody's seen it.
I know what you're talking about.
The quote is, "Don't judge me by what you have seen in me. What you have seen in me is only what I've chosen to show you." Gangsta is some wild shit though.
Hell yeah.
That's hard.
I think I'm
That's
agree with
hard.
Justin. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
5.
That's a 5.
Say
Run it
that
back
shit
one more
again,
time,
bro.
yeah.
Run that shit back, bro.
It says, "Don't judge me by what you have seen in me. What you have seen in me is only what I've chosen to show you."
That's some mafioso type shit,
Yeah,
bro. That sounds like some Michael Corleone. You could tell that they're a fan of some like mafioso type movies like The Godfather, because that's like something you'd expect to hear from that.
That's essentially what the anime is about. They're not mafia. They are just known as handyman, so they're just like
My name is Dog. It's like one of my favorites.
Nico is the fucking beast.
My next one, this one, and my one after it are like from the same thing, but my last 3 are from Bleach. But because Bleach be spitting. But Yuhaba says, "For I shall find the future." Oh, by the way, let me context. Yuhaba has this power called the Almighty. And he can see every possible future and interact with it. So, to fuck you up in the present. "For I shall find the future, that one moment in time where each of you feel the greatest amount of joy and happiness, and it is there I shall slaughter you. So from this point onward, every time you indulge in your own happiness, you shall think of my words. And in that moment, when you do, you will remember my looming shadow, the terror of death I now promise you for all eternity."
God damn. Villainous. 5.
Yeah, 5. That's something fucked up to say to somebody.
Can you imagine, like you beat the enemy, right, and you think you won, and when you finally, at the happiest moment of your life, you just saw your child born, and Yuhaba just shows up on your ass and kills your ass while you're goddamn.
That'd be
Can you imagine the paranoia you would live with for the rest of your life?
Yeah, of course. Alright, hold on where I'm at. Alright. You're gonna care what other people think, be somewhere you're not, your whole life. You're fine as you are, so talk in your own words. Yeah, Mirror, Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I know I recognize that.
And that's like, Attack on Titan, like, let's be honest, like, I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't like Attack on Titan, but it's one of these quotes, like, I did look at a clip of that shit. If she said this shit, that shit hit home.
That Emir, she's a real ass, like fucking, she's a good ass character.
Yeah, she is, like, so, like, I thought the quote was just great.
Mm-hmm.
Run it back one time?
So what?
Read it back one time.
You're gonna care what other people think, be somewhere you're not, your whole life, you're fine as you are, so talk in your own words.
I think she's talking to her friend Historia.
That's a 4.
Gotta have that.
That's definitely a 4.
4? Oh yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm getting into my longer quotes now, and it's great that you did an Attack on Titan one. I did not expect that from you, because I got an Attack on Titan quote that's long. It's like a speech. Captain Irwin is leading his scouts into a death charge against a Titan that throws rocks like a sniper rifle. So
Like a
he's
scattergun, goddamn it.
yeah, it's ridiculous. So he says, and I quote, "Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean there was no point in being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not. This memory serves as an example to us all, the courageous fallen, the anguished fallen. Their lives have meaning because we the living refuse to forget them. And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us. Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world. My soldiers push forward. My soldiers scream out. My soldiers rage.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's
hard.
That
He's
pumped me
hard.
up just now.
He got caught. The same guy got caught in the teeth of a Titan as they are charging, and he's still screaming, "Go!" And he does survive.
Hey,
He was that guy though for a while.
He was always that guy to me, bro. He's basically what Armin. That was Armin's mentor. In other words, he was like not the grand strategist, but pretty much the grand strategist.
I did find one more.
Let's go, Carl.
Also from Gangsta, because Gangsta.
Wait, hold on. What y'all think about the My Soldier's Rage speech?
I'll give it a 5.
That shit was
Yeah,
fantastic.
It
absolutely.
pumped me
Fine.
up.
That was like
You
a
should say that shit while we playing
especially
Marvel
the
Rivals.
rage.
Yeah, My Soldier's Rage. I would have yelled, but I'd be bro.
So also from Gangsta, it's actually kind of long. So this looks like really truly Falcos. Gangsta was always doing some wild ass shit. As Justin can tell you in the fucking show.
The context is Yuha became the Soul King because he wanted to create a world where people didn't die anymore. And so as he's defeated, he's like saying to Ichigo, like, this was a chance to free people from like the burden of dying, and you killed me. You're an idiot. You should carry that with you the rest of your life. And Aizen says to him, Yuha, you desired a world where fear would no longer be a burden. But in a world without fear of death, people will never attain the hope that is to be found from casting their fears aside and persevering through them. While it is true that people can continue to press forward through the simple act of living, that is in no way comparable to marching forward in the face of death while doing their damnedest to keep it at bay. That is why people have given that very march a unique and special name, courage.
Damn.
Oh, that's deep. That's coming from Aizen too.
That's from Aizen.
All people. That shit is deep.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Yeah, I agree with
Like, I
Carl.
respect that shit.
I mean, yeah, because with the world without death, there would be no consequences to anything.
Yeah, it's nothing like people will do what they want to do.
Not to mention, like, death for some people is more a relief than a burden.
It is.
As depressing as that sounds, you know.
It's the truth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This world is full of things that don't go as we wish. The longer you live, the more you realize reality is just made of pain, suffering, and emptiness. Listen, in this world, wherever there is light, there will also be shadows. As long as there is concept of winners existing, there also be losers. Selfish desires of wanting to maintain peace cause wars, and hatred is born to protect love. Maru Uchiha.
Really, Madara? What the fuck? That was very poetic. I'll drop a 4
I mean, man
on
is
this
old as
now.
shit, so
What do y'all think?
that's a 4.
Mm.
For sure.
That's a 4.5. I don't know. Maybe I'm rating shit too high.
Madara is crazy.
He was completely right though.
I want to give it a 4 out of 4.5 to be honest, just because it's coming from Madara.
Right.
It's not that he's not intelligent or nothing. It's just that like you don't be expecting the villains to be this level of deep a lot of the time. Like,
I mean, he's only the villain of somebody else's story. For him, he's his own hero.
And like what
That's
he
true.
believed he doing is right. Like he's trying to end suffering. He's trying to end suffering for everybody.
let me drop this long ass Death Note quote on y'all.
Uh-oh.
I'm not giving y'all no context. This comes from L, the person who was hunting Kira. There are many types of monsters that scare me. Monsters who cause trouble without showing themselves. Monsters who abduct children. Monsters who devour dreams. Monsters who suck blood. And then, monsters who tell nothing but lies. Lying monsters are a real nuisance. They are much more cunning than others. They pose as humans, even though they have no understanding of human heart. They eat even though they've never experienced hunger. They study even though they have no interest in academics. They seek friendship even though they don't know how to love. If I were to encounter such monsters, I would likely be eaten by them. Because in truth, I am that monster.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
This L is one of the more interesting anime characters in general. He's he's got heavy autism apparently or some shit like that. And he is like got some of the most badass, intelligent anime character moments. But it's kind of crazy that he would like consider himself like non-human because of the way he feels. And as a person, I'm not calling myself an autist or nothing like that. But as a person who sometimes can feel separated from humanity, I can kind of understand his sentiment, which is why that quote spoke to me.
So the context is Yuhaba is fighting Ichigo, and he tells Ichigo, you know, I'm gonna unleash all this despair on you, you know, because I can see the future. And Ichigo says to him, and what of this despair? I know it all too well, because up until now, I've climbed up, kicked it in its teeth, and surpassed it over and over again, just to make it to this very moment. And I just felt like that was just like, yeah, nigga, what are you scared of? Why, what is despair if you know how to survive?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what he was kind of saying to you, Haba, like, and when you take it in context with that thing that Aizen had just said, it proves what Aizen just said right about how people need the courage to continue on, even in the face of death. So if you take take death away, then yeah, of course despair is, then despair loses meaning.
Yeah, run it back one more time, yo.
Okay. He says, and what of this despair? And what of this despair? I know it all too well, because up until now, I've climbed up, kicked it in its teeth, and surpassed it over and over again, just to make it to this very moment.
I can dig that shit. That's a 5 for me, bro. Yeah, like, I would say that shit to myself, like, saying that shit to me, that's something I would read to myself in the morning before I go to work. Like, dead ass.
You'll catch it in the YouTube video soon.
Forget about yourself for 1 second and try saving others. Don't will your power for your own sake, because getting trapped by your own hate and acting out of pure self-interest makes you the furthest thing from a hero. Stain, my hero.
Sting was crazy as fuck.
But he was right.
He was?
That was crazy.
He was killing heroes, but at the same time, these heroes was doing some really grimy shit.
They were?
Like, I was really hoping, because Hulk was a motherfucker the whole entire time. Endeavor was a piece of shit. He the whole reason for Dobby. Like, Dobby is because of him.
Doing that one a 4.5. Almost a 5. Almost. The only thing it's just not as poetic as the other ones we've said was 5s. But in terms of like the truth of it, yeah, it's totally a 4.5. Right, it's totally a 4.5. That bitch is fantastic.
My last one's from Cowboy Bebop also. Basically, it's one of the last episodes, and Spike is about to have his confrontation with the Martian Mafia, and it's a suicide mission. A lot of my quotes are people going to die and suicide missions and stuff like that.
Though. Them one-liners and shit at the end when they about to die be the best type of shit.
Yeah. Well, Spike's one-liner was just bang. But so for this particular quote, Faye, the one of my favorite characters also, is trying to convince him to not go because she knows he's going to die. And she's just sort of like, at some point she's just sort of like, why are you just throwing your life away? Why are you going there to die? And Spike tells her, and I quote, I'm not going there to die. I'm going there to find out if I was ever really alive.
Damn.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's short, but it's simple. And it's sweet.
I don't think my context does it enough justice either, but there it is. Cowboy. But I have an honorable mention that's also from the same show.
But think about this shit. He's going off. He knows he's gonna die in the end, but he's gonna go out and fight any fucking way, and that's what makes Spike a great character. Like he was just doing unfinished business because he should have been like that. Shit should have been happening. He just finished the business.
Well, he was really he was doing his own thing, and then like that shit bubbled back up again. It turns out the girl's alive. It turns out that Vicious is out there and he's trying to take over the mob. Like, there's some stuff that he can't let happen.